Okay, so when you're looking to start a business, any type of business, you can look at it three different ways. You have three main approaches. You can start from scratch, you can buy an existing business, or you can start a franchise. And given that this link is going through one of my pages, you can guess that my preference is franchise. But I understand that's not for everybody. So I just want to take a look at the three of them side by side for a minute. So the first method is starting from scratch. And starting from scratch a lot of times seems like the most natural thing to do because it can take the least amount of startup capital. It can, and that could actually hurt you because you're not investing what you need to invest into your business to be successful. But it can cost less startup capital. It's your own labor that's going into it, so you're not delving into HR, which is another thing that could hurt you. If you don't know how to manage HR, if you don't know how to manage marketing for a business, these type of things can come back and get you. But it's really on you. So a lot of times when you're starting your own business, it's going to be a lot of time. It's going to be a lot of effort on your part. But then once you've built it, it's yours. It's your thing. You built it from scratch. There's a lot of accomplishment that goes there. But you can expect a lot of years of blood, sweat, and tears unless you've done this type of thing before or you shadowed somebody else starting a business. It's not something that is, it's not something that's easy to pull off, easy to be successful because you're doing all the innovating. Now, buying a business has a lot of things already figured out for you, right? I mean, there's already an HR thing going. There's already a marketing thing going, generally. A lot of these things are already in place. Some of the negatives for starting a business are that it can be very expensive. When you buy a business, you're looking at the business assets. You're looking at the goodwill. You're looking at probably paying a multiple of the revenue that the business is generating. So say you buy a business, and I think most decent businesses are selling at 2 to 3 times multiples. If you're going for the big businesses, you can get much higher than that. Or if it's very passive, you can get much higher than that. And if the business is really struggling, it might be a times 1 or even less. Sometimes if it's struggling, you can't sell it at all. But that's a multiple of usually discretionary earnings or EBITDA will be distilled down to, which is earnings before interest, taxes, amortization, and depreciation. So you're going to be paying a multiple on that. And so if you just leave the business at what you bought it at, it could take you several years, 2 to 3 years, just to kind of break even on your purchase. So when you buy a business, you have to feel reasonably certain that you're going to be able to take that business to the next level. Otherwise, it's probably not worth getting into it. And then if you are going to be putting that kind of time and effort into buying a business, and you kind of want to have some experience in business flipping, or because you're going to be taking over all these programs, and you're going to be trying to make them better. So if you don't have a lot of experience in it, you can get yourself into trouble. But it can be very good. And I should mention one other thing is financing for an existing business can, not necessarily, but can be more difficult. When you compare it to, say, a franchise purchase, for instance. Franchise purchases are probably the easiest to get financing for. If you're starting something yourself from scratch, getting the startup financing can be very difficult. It's a non-proven concept. You're trying to sell the bank on it. Hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And the bank may buy it, it may not. So it can be hard to get financing. When you're buying an existing business, it's all about the books. If the company is making money, if it's a really good business, you could get financing. I think the last time I checked statistics, maybe 8% of businesses are being sold through SBA loans or being purchased through SBA loans. With franchises, it's a proven system. As long as you kind of meet some general net worth requirements to have the collateral for the loan, you can usually get the startup funds you need. And franchises a lot of times will have minimum net worth requirements that'll make sure that any prospect that goes to their system should be able to qualify for a loan. So it's kind of one of those things where for you to even qualify for a loan, to even qualify for the franchise, you're going to qualify for the loan. Because that's why they have minimum net worth and liquid requirements. So the other thing when you're buying a business is that there's a lot of hidden pitfalls. So when someone's selling the business, I mean, there are disclosure laws. They can't purposely hide things from you, but there can be things in there where it's like they don't really want to tell you beforehand, and after the purchase, it might just be easier to let you find it on your own. You have to look out for landmines that may have been hidden. When you start a business from scratch, that's the landmines are the ones that you make for yourself. So anyway, going into the last one, franchising. So with franchising, you're paying an upfront fee, a franchise fee, and you're paying some ongoing royalty fees. So it is going to be more expensive to start than starting your own business. But what you're buying is you're buying a proven system. You're buying something that is it's been shown to work in sometimes hundreds, even thousands of markets. And I have this live, but the program I'm using doesn't let me answer with text. So if you throw any questions in the chat box, I'll answer it in the video. But hey, Adam. So anyway, so you're buying this proven system. It's been shown to work. It is, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But on the flip side, you also get support. So someone that's really a really good fit for franchise is somebody that really wants to conserve their own time, and they're willing, yes, exactly, time. They're willing to conserve their own time, and they're willing to spend money to do it, because you can do all those things. You can start a business from scratch. It's going to take an enormous amount of time. And without putting proper capital into it, so you might not even realize what you're supposed to be spending money on in the beginning, you can get yourself kind of tripped up or in a hole where you exhaust through your funds because you're rationing them out instead of sinking them into proper, focused, targeted marketing or something like that. But yeah, so you're spending money, you're investing in yourself, you're investing in a partner that knows what they're doing, and they're going to do it right. And the other thing that's good about franchising is it can be very modular. When you're starting your own business from scratch, you can get stuck in it's like it's focusing on one task to the next task to the next task, and you can just lose track of the bigger goal, the larger thing you're trying to get to. When you buy an existing business, you're going to be sitting there trying to wrap your head around, how is this thing working? Who are the employees again? Again, you can get wrapped up to it. When you start with franchising, and it really depends, this can depend on the franchise, but most franchises are very modular. If you want to expand, you can buy more territory, you can buy more licenses. You can even go and start multiple franchises. So really, whether or not you stay with one unit or one territory or one area, or whether you expand to multiple areas, multiple franchises, and branch out is really up to you and how fast you want to expand. I know people that, they've got 350 different franchises and probably a dozen different systems under their belt. They've just built an empire. Because once you do that, once you start adding them, it's like adding employees, except you're adding business units, right? It's a whole different scale. And if you can, and this can be a little more expensive, if you can even start with a 3-pack, or like where you buy the license to open 3 locations, or you buy 3 territories. And so you get yourself in the mentality right from the beginning. I'm not going to end here. I'm not going to start one location and get stuck. Because if you buy one franchise location, you can still get stuck in that same rut that I was talking about the other ones, where you get focused on that one thing and you lose sight of growth. And that's a trap you always have to watch out for. But if you buy some franchises, there's plenty of growth within one territory. You don't have to worry about expanding. But if you're getting like a unit, like restaurants or health and beauty, hair salons, my encouragement is if you can bring in investors, or if you have the capital yourself, try to start with a 3-pack at least. Because if you get a 3-pack, not only are you starting with the goal that opening one hair salon isn't my goal. My goal is to just add these things up. But so I was going somewhere with that. Your goal is not only to just open a hair salon, but you're focused on the end goal. You're focused on expansion. And then once you get that third one up and running, you're like, I've already opened 2 and they're already up and running and I'm getting the money in from those. And I've got this third one rolled over. What do I do now? Well, you can expand. You can open something else. You can open more. You can try to delve deeper into the world of franchising with area development and master franchise relationships. franchising really gives a lot of flexibility. But really, it gives you time, it gives you a partner, and it gives you something that walks you through. If you've never started a business before, if you're just working as a W-2 employee and you're really discontented with your job and you're like, I have to get out of this job. I just have to, right? And you want to get into a business, but you've never started a business before. You don't know anything about hiring employees, firing employees, running the books, all marketing. You don't know anything about any of that stuff. All you know is say you're an engineer. My background is engineering, so that's one that's very close and personal to me. I got a degree in mechanical engineering. And I was like, I do not want to do this my entire life, so I didn't. But say you're an engineer. You don't know anything about running a business. You know how to be a great engineer. You know how to problem solve, figure things out. Well, all of those soft skills translate great to franchising. And in a franchise system, you have someone telling you, hey, here's our best practices for hiring and managing employees. Here's our best practices for managing your books. Or they might even have those software programs laid out for you. It's really very flexible. And it's something that a seasoned business person can get into and use as investments. It's something that someone that doesn't know anything about business, but is just wants to get out of their job. I wouldn't say doesn't know anything about business. You should have something, but they just want to get out of their job. It's so flexible on who can use it and the ways that they can use it. Anyway, so that's going to wrap it up for me tonight. So, so we just talked a little bit about the 3 different ways you could go. You could start your own from scratch. You could buy an existing business, or you could go with a franchise. If you do decide to go with a franchise, let me know. I work with about 600 different franchises around the world. The international franchise marketplace is very international. I just did events in Thailand and Bahrain and Oman that were incredible. And so if you're international, I can help you there too. Most of the people I work with in the U.S., but I do function a lot on the international stage. And with just the sheer number of franchises I work with, and that I know a lot of them, a lot of information about a lot of franchises, and I can help navigate you through that process. So that's what I do. If you want to start up your own from scratch, or if you want to buy an existing business, I'm always happy to let you pick my brain. But my true specialty is in the franchise realm. All right, everybody, have a great night.